My child, before you do anything else, I want you to notice that you did not arrive here by accident. Something tried to pull you away from this moment. A distraction, a restlessness, a quiet voice that said you were too busy for this, that this word was not for you, that you should keep scrolling. But you did not keep scrolling. You stayed, and that alone tells me something about your heart, my beloved, because the enemy of your faith fought hard to keep this exact message from reaching you. He knew what it carried. He knew that the moment these words settled into your spirit, you would finally understand why I have not given you the details you have been demanding. So hear me clearly. You were meant to be right here, in this stillness, listening to your Father. I want to tell you one thing today, my child, and I want it to reach the anxious place in you that has been trying so hard to figure everything out. Trust me deeper than the details. That is the whole word. The deeper your trust in me grows, the less you will need to know the details before you move. And you have had that exactly backward for a long time. You have believed that the closer you got to me, the more I would explain. But it is the opposite. The closer you get to me, the less you will need me to explain, because you will finally know the one who is leading you. I know how tired you are, my beloved, from trying to carry what was never yours to carry. You have lain awake at night running the same worries in circles, moving the same problems around in your mind as if rearranging them enough times would finally make an answer appear. You have tried to think your way to peace, to plan your way to safety, to control every variable so that nothing could ever hurt you again. And it has left you exhausted, because that is a weight no human being was ever built to hold. You were not designed to know the future. You were designed to trust the one who does. And every ounce of energy you have spent trying to see around corners, only I can see around, has been energy stolen from the peace I have been holding out to you the whole time. Let me show you what I mean, my beloved, in the simplest way I can. Think about how you treat someone you do not trust. When you do not trust a person, you need everything spelled out. You need the reasons, the timeline, the guarantees. You interrogate every small thing because deep down you are bracing to be let down. But think about the one or two people in your life you have come to truly trust over the years. You do not cross-examine them. When they tell you something, you simply believe it. When they ask you to follow, you follow. The trust removed the need for the interrogation, my beloved. That is what I am inviting you into with me, my child. Not a relationship where I hand you a map for every step, but a relationship so deep that you stop needing the map because you finally trust the hand that is holding yours. And here is what your anxiety has been doing to you, my beloved. Every time I have whispered, "Come, let us go," you have answered with a list of questions: where, how long, what will it cost me, what if it does not work? And while you stood there demanding the details, the moment I was calling you into quietly passed. You have missed some of the most beautiful things I prepared for you. Not because you lacked faith entirely, but because you would not move until you could see the whole road. My child, I have never once shown anyone the whole road. That is not how faith works. My child, that is not how trust is built. So before we go one step further, let this be the first thing you say back to heaven today. In the comments below, type these words: "I trust you deeper than the details." Say it out loud first if you are alone, and then write it. Because there is power in the moment an anxious heart finally lays down its need to know everything and simply agrees to trust. Let me take you back to a man who trusted me more deeply than almost anyone who ever lived, my beloved, and I want you to notice what he was and was not. Given his name was Abraham. He was already an old man, settled, comfortable, rooted in the only life he had ever known. And I spoke to him, and I said, "Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee." Notice my words carefully, my child. A land that I will show thee, not a land I have shown you. Not a land whose name you already know. A land I will show you, my child. Later, once you are already walking, I gave him a direction and withheld the destination. I told him to leave everything familiar and set out, and I did not tell him where he was going. And hear what the scripture says he did. In Hebrews 11:8, it is written, "By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. Read that last line slowly, my beloved. He went out, not knowing where he was going, my child. He did not stand at his door demanding a map. He did not require me to explain the plan before he would take the first step. He heard his God say, "Let us go." And he went, my beloved, even though he did not know. And here is what I most want you to see, my child, because it will change how you understand your own faith. This was not the 10th time Abraham had followed me. It was the first. He had no track record with me yet. He could not look back and say, "Well, the last time God led me somewhere, it worked out, so I will trust him now." He had none of that. He had only me and my voice saying, "Let us go," which means his trust was not built on a history of proof. It was built on character, on who I am. That is the trust I am building in you right now, my beloved. Not a trust that only shows up after you have seen enough evidence, but a deeper trust, one that can say yes to my voice before the proof ever arrives. And if that already stirs something in you, my child, if some part of you can feel me calling you out of the familiar and towards something you cannot yet see, then let heaven hear you name it. In the comments below, type these words. I hear you saying, "Let us go." Say it as someone whose spirit has already recognized the call, even before their mind has all the answers. Let me give you another one, my beloved, because I want you to see this same trust in different lives, so you know it is not reserved for one great man long ago. Think of the fishermen by the sea. They were mending their nets, doing the only work they had ever known, when my son walked by and said 2 words that changed everything. "Follow me." He did not sit them down and explain the 3-year plan. He did not tell them about the crowds, the miracles, the storms, the cross, the resurrection, the way the whole world would be changed through them. He simply said, "Follow me," and the scripture says they left their nets at once and followed. They had a "let us go" moment, my child, and they answered it before they understood a single thing about where it would lead, and everything their lives became flowed out of that one trusting yes to a call they could not yet comprehend. And think of Peter on the water, my beloved, because his story holds both the beauty and the danger of this kind of trust. When my son called to him across the waves and said, "Come," Peter climbed out of the boat and walked on the water toward me, doing the impossible, held up by nothing but a word and his trust in the one who spoke it. He was not looking at the how. He was looking at me. But then, the scripture says, when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and he began to sink. Hear what happened, my child. Nothing about the storm changed in that moment. What changed was where he was looking. The moment he turned his eyes from me to the details of the danger, from the one who called him to the how of the thing, he began to sink. That is the whole lesson. You do not sink, my beloved, because the storm is too big. You sink the moment you take your eyes off me and fix them on the details you cannot control. So keep your eyes on the one who called you, my child, and you will walk on water you were never meant to be able to walk on. I want you to feel the weight of that in your body for a moment, my child. Wherever you are sitting, let your shoulders come down. I suspect they have been up near your ears for a long time, tense with all the figuring out, all the planning, all the trying to control what you cannot control. Let them drop. Let your breath go all the way to the bottom of your ribs and then out again slowly. And as you breathe out, let go, just for one breath, of your need to know how it all turns out. You do not have to solve your whole future in this moment. You only have to trust the one who already holds it. And if you felt even the smallest thing loosen, a settling in your chest, a quiet where the anxious noise usually lives, do not dismiss it. That is your spirit recognizing your Father's voice, my beloved. So mark it. In the comments below, type these words, I receive the courage to go. Let the receiving be a decision, because the courage always comes after the yes, not before it. Now I want to teach you something about the season you are standing in, my child, because you have been misreading it. You have been treating this uncertain, detail-free season as a punishment, as evidence that I have abandoned you or gone silent on you. But hear me, there is a difference between a test and a temptation, and knowing that difference will set you free. The enemy tempts you to pull you out of my will. I test you to bring you deeper into it. The enemy tempts you in the direction of your own destruction. I test you in the direction of your own becoming. So when you find yourself in a season where I have withheld the details and asked you simply to trust, do not panic and do not assume the worst. That withholding is not me abandoning you, my child. It is me maturing you. I am not leaving you in the dark. I am teaching you to hold my hand in the dark, which is a thing you could never learn in the light. Because here is a truth the world will never tell you, my beloved. If I explained everything to you in advance, you would never actually learn to trust me. You would only learn to trust the plan, and plans fail. People who put their faith in the plan fall apart the moment the plan changes. But the child who has learned to trust the Father himself, that child can walk through any change, any detour, any surprise, and never lose their footing, because their trust was never in the details. It was in me. That is why I so often lead you one step of light at a time, not to torment you, but to teach you to lean on the only thing that will never move. Hear the word of your Father in Proverbs 3:5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Read the middle of that carefully, my child. Lean not unto thine own understanding. I did not say your understanding was worthless. I said do not lean your whole weight on it, because it cannot hold you. Your understanding is a small and flickering light. It can show you the next step, but it cannot show you the road. So when you lean all your weight on needing to understand, you will always be anxious, because you are resting your whole life on something far too small to carry it. Lean on me instead. I can hold the full weight of your future, every unknown of it without strain, and I will direct your paths precisely as I promised, one faithful step at a time. And I want you to notice something the world calls a weakness, that I call the very doorway to peace. My beloved, when you finally admit that you cannot see the whole road, that you do not have the answers, that you are not able to control the outcome, the world hears defeat, but heaven hears the beginning of real rest. Because the exhausting thing was never the uncertainty itself. The exhausting thing was you trying to be your own God, trying to see what only I can see, trying to hold what only I can hold. The moment you lay that down, the moment you say, I do not know, but my Father does, a weight you were never designed to carry finally rolls off your shoulders. Not knowing, my beloved, is only unbearable when you think it all depends on you. The moment you remember it depends on me, not knowing becomes a kind of freedom. I want to speak now, not as a distant voice, but as the Father who has been near you the whole time, my child. It grieves my heart to watch my children stand frozen at the edge of everything I have prepared for them, refusing to move until they can see the whole road, when I am standing just ahead of them saying, come, let us go together. So before we go deeper, I want to give you the chance to be part of what I am doing in the earth. Not because I need it, but because I made you to give the way I give. There is someone out there tonight who is frozen exactly where you have been frozen, too afraid of the unknown to take the step I have been asking of them, certain that if they cannot see the outcome, they should not move at all. My child, in this season of your own stepping out, I am inviting you to sow a seed for that person, never out of pressure and never out of fear, because a gift given in fear is not a seed at all. But if your heart is moved, you can sow something into this work in their name, so that this same word of trust can reach them at the very edge of their own step. You do not do this to earn what I am already freely giving you. My beloved, your seed does not buy my leading, because my leading was never for sale. You give simply because a heart that has learned to trust loves, to help another heart take its first step. If that stirs something in you, you will find the way to give at the link in the description below, or by scanning the code on your screen. And whether or not you ever give a single thing, hear me clearly. I am leading you the same. I love you the same. There is no guidance of heaven reserved only for those who give. Now let me name the two kinds of faith you will need, my child, because you are being asked to walk in both. The first is what I will call the faith to go. It is the faith of the first step, the faith that hears me say, let us go, and answers, yes, Lord, before it knows where. That is the faith Abraham had at his door. It is exciting. It is bold. It feels alive. Because there is something in the human spirit that comes awake the moment it decides to trust and move. Many of my children love this kind of faith. It is the faith of new beginnings, of stepping out, of the great adventure of following me into the unknown. But there is a second kind of faith, my beloved, and it is quieter, and it is harder, and it is the one that separates the ones who finish from the ones who fall away. It is the faith to hold on, because after Abraham took his first bold step, he did not walk immediately into the promise. I told him he would have a son, an heir, a whole nation born from his own body, and then I made him wait. Not a week, not a year, 25 years. 25 years of holding on to a promise he could not see, growing older every single day, watching the natural possibility of that promise fade with every passing season. The faith to go got him out the door, my child. But it was the faith to hold on that carried him across the long, silent years in between. So say it, my child, wherever you are in your own long waiting. In the comments below, type these words, I am still holding on. Speak it as someone who has decided that a delay is not a denial, and that a promise is still a promise even when you cannot yet see it with your eyes. And I want to speak directly to the weariness of the long wait, my beloved, because the faith to hold on is a different kind of tired than the faith to go. The faith to go is exhilarating. It has adrenaline in it, the thrill of the first bold step. But the faith to hold on has no adrenaline left. It is the faith of the 10,000th ordinary morning when nothing has changed, when the promise still has not come, when everyone around you has quietly stopped believing it ever will. That is the harder faith, my child, and it is the one I most want to strengthen in you tonight, because it is the one that determines whether you arrive. Many take the first step, fewer survive the long middle, but I did not bring you this far to let you fall in the waiting. The same God who gave you the courage to begin will give you the endurance to hold on day after unremarkable day until the promise finally comes into view. Let me remind you of something you have forgotten under all the worry, my beloved. Look back over your own life honestly for a moment. Trace it backward, all the way back. There were seasons you were certain you would not survive, and you are still here. There were valleys so dark you could not see your own hands, and somehow you came through them. There were nights you were sure you had been abandoned, and yet the morning came and you were still standing, still carried, still held by a hand you could not feel but that never once let go. My child, that is your evidence. You already have a track record with me, even if you have never stopped to read it. I have never, not one single time, let you fall all the way down. And the God who caught you every time before is not going to drop you now, at the very edge of what he has been preparing your whole life to give you. So let heaven hear you testify to that. My beloved, in the comments below, type these words, God has never once let me fall. Say it not as wishful thinking, but as the honest verdict of your own history. Because when you remember how faithful I have already been, trusting me with what is ahead stops feeling like a risk and starts feeling like the most reasonable thing in the world. And I want to be honest with you about those 25 years, my beloved, because the world tells the story of faith as though it were clean and simple. And it is not. Abraham did not hold on perfectly. Somewhere in the middle of that long wait, when the silence had gone on too long and the promise seemed impossible, he and his wife grew tired of waiting on me, and they tried to make the promise happen by their own effort, in their own strength, on their own timeline, and it produced pain and confusion and a wound that took generations to heal. My child, hear this carefully, because I know you carry shame over the times you tried to force what only I could give. Embracing my promise never meant you would walk the road without stumbling. It never meant, my child, you would not have days where you gave up, or cried, or ran ahead of me and made a mess of things. The scripture says Abraham embraced the promises, and it says it about the same man who also made that mistake. Your stumbles in the waiting, my beloved, do not cancel the promise. They are simply part of the long human process of learning to trust a God whose timing is not your own. Let me steady the discouraged one who is listening right now, my beloved, because I suspect part of you has quietly concluded that your season of waiting has gone on so long and been so imperfectly walked that surely I must have moved on to someone more faithful. That is a lie, and I want to pull it out of you tonight. I did not abandon Abraham in the 25 years. I was as present in the silent middle, as I was in the shining moment of the promise. The waiting was not my absence, my beloved. It was my work, hidden, patient, forming in him a depth that only the long wait could build. And I am doing the very same thing in you. The season that feels like nothing is happening is the season I do some of my deepest work. In the quiet where only a trusting heart can perceive it. So agree with heaven about your own waiting right now, my child. In the comments below, type these words: "My delay is not God's denial." Say it against every voice that told you the silence meant no, because your Father has just told you plainly that the silence has been his workshop all along. Now I want to show you the deepest test of Abraham's trust, my beloved, because it will help you understand your own. After all those years, the promise finally came. The son was born. And then, when that son was the most precious thing in Abraham's world, I asked him to lay the boy down on an altar and trust me even with him. Hear how the scripture holds the tension of it in Hebrews 11:17 and 18. By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and it says, "Even he to whom it was said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called." Do you feel the impossibility in those words, my child? I had said the whole future would come through Isaac, and then I asked Abraham to trust me with Isaac's very life. It made no sense, my beloved. The command seemed to contradict the promise, and yet Abraham obeyed because by then his trust had grown so deep that he believed I could be trusted even when I made no sense to him at all. He had learned over decades that his God could be trusted deeper than the details, deeper even than his own understanding of what I had promised. And that, my beloved, is the trust I am growing in you. Not a trust that only holds when my leading makes sense to you, but a trust that holds especially when it does not. Because there will be seasons when what I ask of you seems to contradict what I promised you, when the road I lead you down appears to go backward instead of forward. Remember, Abraham left a settled, comfortable city to wander in tents for the rest of his life. From the outside, his life looked like it was going backward the moment he started following me. But he was not going backward. He was going deeper into a promise larger than the comfortable life he left behind. So when your own obedience seems to cost you more than it gives, when following me looks like a step down to everyone watching, do not lose heart. What looks like backward to the world is often the exact path to the promise in my eyes. And I want to prepare you, my beloved, for the voices that will not understand the road I have you on. When you begin to move at my word without all the details, some of the people around you will call it foolish. They will ask you the very questions you have finally stopped asking me. Where is this going? How will it work? What is your plan? And when you cannot answer them the way they want, they may shake their heads or worry over you, or try to talk you back into the safe and stagnant life you were content with before you heard my voice. Do not let them pull you back, my child. They are not wrong to want security. They simply cannot hear the voice that is calling you, and a person cannot follow a call they cannot hear. Your obedience does not require their understanding. You do not owe every anxious onlooker, my child, a full explanation of a journey I gave to you, and not to them. Walk on, my child. In time, the same ones who questioned your steps may find courage from watching where those steps led. And here is something I want you to hold on to when the road makes no sense, my beloved. The confusion you feel is not a sign that you have left my will. Very often, it is the exact sign that you are deep inside it. The place of not understanding is not the place of being lost. It is the place where trust is forged, because trust can only grow in the soil of the unknown. If you could see everything, you would not need to trust me at all. You would only need your own eyes. So the very fog that frightens you is the classroom, where I am teaching your spirit its deepest and most unshakable lessons. One day you will look back on this confusing season and realize it was not the season I was absent. It was the season I taught you how to walk with me in the dark. And that is a strength no easy season could ever have given you. Stay with me here, my child, because this is the heart of everything I am saying, and the enemy would love for you to drift away right before it lands. You have already come further tonight than most people would. You did not scroll past your own anxious heart and pretend it was fine. You stayed, and you let a word from heaven reach the part of you that has been so desperate for control. That is the kind of heart that learns to trust, my beloved. and I do not want you to miss what comes next. I want to prepare you for something, because the enemy has a specific strategy against a heart learning to trust without the details. He will flood your mind with what if. What if you heard me wrong? What if it does not work out? What if you take the step and fall? He does this because he knows that a mind drowning in what if will never take the step. So when the what ifs rise, my child, do not try to answer every one of them, because you cannot. And that is the trap. You will never have enough answers to satisfy fear, because fear does not actually want answers. It wants you frozen, my child. Instead of answering the what ifs, simply return to what you do know. You know my voice. You know my character. You know that I have never once let you fall, even in the seasons you could not feel me holding you. Stand on what you know about me, and let the what-ifs go unanswered. Because a heart anchored in who I am does not need every question resolved in order to move. So take that ground now, my beloved. In the comments below, type these words: I lay down my need to see the whole road. And as you type it, imagine actually setting down a heavy map you have been gripping so tightly your hands ached, and feel the relief of finally letting the one who made the road do the leading. Let me tell you the difference between trust that is high and trust that is deep, my child. Because the world only knows the shallow kind. Shallow trust is tall and visible. It trusts me when the blessings are stacked high where everyone can see them. When the answers came quickly and the road was smooth. That kind of trust is easy, and it is thin, and it collapses the moment the visible blessings disappear. But the trust I am building in you is not tall. It is deep. It runs down beneath the surface, into the places no one can see, into the seasons where there is nothing visible to point to at all. Deep trust, my beloved, is the kind that holds when the account is low, when the answer has not come, when the road makes no sense, and the details are nowhere to be found. You cannot always see deep trust, my beloved, the way you cannot see the roots of the strongest tree. But it is exactly that unseen depth that keeps you standing when the storms come for everyone else. And do not miss this, my child. The reason so many are shaken when hard seasons arrive is that they believe the wrong thing about faith. They believe that the deeper their faith grew, the clearer the details would become. So when a confusing season arrived, they assumed their faith had failed. But that was never the promise. Growing in faith does not mean you will understand more and more of where I am taking you. It means you will need to understand less and less, because you will trust the one leading more and more. The mature believer is not the one with all the answers. It is the one who has learned to walk in peace without them. Hear the word of your Father in Isaiah 55:8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. My beloved, sit with the mercy in that. If my ways are as far above yours as the heavens are above the earth, then of course you cannot always understand what I am doing. It was never a failure of your faith that you could not figure it out. It was simply the vast distance between the mind of a child and the wisdom of the God who made the stars. So stop punishing yourself for not being able to see what was never meant to be seen from where you stand. You were never asked to understand my ways. You were asked, my beloved, to trust the one whose ways are higher, and to walk the road one step at a time, while I hold the map you were never meant to carry. And here is what I long for you to feel, my child, underneath all of this teaching. I am not a harsh commander barking orders into the dark and demanding blind obedience for my own amusement. I am a father, and I love you, and everything I withhold from you, I withhold in love, and everything I ask of you, I ask for your good. When I do not give you the details, it is not because I am hiding from you or toying with you. It is because I am close enough to carry what you cannot, and I would rather you lean on me than exhaust yourself trying to see what only breaks your heart to stare at. The withheld details are not a wall between us, my beloved. They are an invitation, my beloved, to come closer, close enough to be carried. So let me show you what this looks like in your actual days, my beloved, because I do not want this to stay a beautiful idea you never live. When I whisper to you to take a step, to reach out to that person, to give that gift, to begin that thing, to forgive and finally let go of what you have been holding against them. You do not need to understand the whole reason before you obey. You do not need to know how it ends. You only need to know that it is my voice. And then, like a child taking a parent's hand in the dark, you take the step. When I say give, you do not need to audit the whole situation and predict exactly how it will be used before your hand will open. If I have said give, then give, my child, and leave the details to me. Your obedience was never meant to wait for full understanding. Full understanding is not the condition of obedience, my beloved. Trust is. And notice, my beloved, that my leading does not always mean I am moving you somewhere else. Sometimes when I say let us go, I am not asking you to leave the place you are in. I am asking you to finally come alive in it. When those fishermen answered my son's call, some of the most important work began not in a faraway land, but right there by the same water they had always known, only now with their eyes open and their hearts surrendered. So do not assume, my child, that trusting me always means a dramatic departure. Sometimes let us go means stop merely existing where I have planted you and start truly living there. Step fully into the family you already have. Pour yourself into the work already in front of you. Love the people already around you as though I placed them there on purpose, because I did. The let us go I am speaking over you may not move your feet at all. It may simply move your heart from asleep to awake, right where you already stand. And when you do take the step, my child, whatever step it is, do not despise how small it may seem. You keep waiting for a grand, dramatic act of faith, some enormous leap that will finally prove you trust me. But most of the walk of faith is not made of grand leaps. It is made of small, quiet obediences, my beloved, one after another. On ordinary days no one will ever applaud. The single yes when you wanted to say no, the one honest conversation you had been avoiding, the small gift given quietly, the forgiveness offered with no audience. Those small steps taken in trust are the whole road, my beloved. String enough of them together, and you will look back one day astonished at how far I carried you, one small trusting step at a time. Now hear the voice of the one who brings you these words, speaking to you plainly for a moment, heart to heart. If this message has reached the anxious, controlling, exhausted place in you and loosened its grip even a little, then let it become a seed in someone else's life too. There is a name rising in your heart right now, a specific person, someone standing frozen at the edge of a step. God has been asking them to take someone who cannot move because they cannot see the outcome. Do not let that name pass by. If your heart is moved to sow, you can sow a seed for them into this ministry, so that the same word that found you tonight can find them at the edge of their own leap. This is not a transaction, my friend. It is a declaration of faith, a way of saying that what you have received is too good to keep to yourself. You give not to earn anything, because everything your Father has for you is already freely given. You give because a heart learning to trust loves to help another heart take its first step. You will find the way to sow at the link in the description below, or by scanning the code on the screen. And if this is not your season to give, then simply receive and give another day. Both are holy and both are seen. Let me paint you a picture of where this trust leads, my child. Because you have lived so long in the exhausting work of trying to control everything that you may not remember what peace feels like. Picture an ordinary morning not far from now. Something uncertain is in front of you, a decision, a change, a step whose outcome you cannot see. And instead of the old churning in your stomach, the endless running of every scenario, the sleepless nights spent trying to force clarity that would not come, you notice something different, a quiet, a settledness. You still do not know how it ends, but the not knowing no longer terrifies you, because somewhere along the way you stopped needing to know. You have learned to rest in the hands of the one who does. You take the step, and you sleep that night, and the peace that guards your heart is not the peace of having figured it out. It is the deeper peace of finally trusting the one who has. That is not a fantasy, my beloved. That is the life waiting for you on the other side of laying down the details. And I want you to understand, my child, that you are not walking any of this alone. When I called Abraham, I did not say, go. I said, let us go. It was always us, my beloved. I never sent him out to find the land by himself while I watched from a distance. I went with him, every mile of the 1500, through every unknown, into every place he could not have found on his own. And I am not sending you out alone either. The step I am asking you to take, I am taking with you. The road you cannot see, I have already walked. So the trust I am asking of you is not the trust of a soldier sent alone into the dark. It is the trust of a child whose father is holding their hand the entire way, saying, "Come, let us go. I am right here." Let your body rest in that for a moment, my beloved. The way a child finally rests when they realize they do not have to find the way themselves. You can stop straining to see around every corner. You can stop trying to carry the weight of an outcome that was never yours to carry. Let your hands open in your lap, palms up, no longer gripping the map, no longer clutching for control. This is the posture of the trust I am building in you, not the white-knuckled grip of someone trying to steer their own life through fog, but the open, resting hands of a child who has finally decided their father can be trusted deeper than the details. And if you feel even the smallest thing settle in you as your hands open, my child, a loosening in your chest, a quiet where the worry usually churns, do not rush past it. That quiet is not nothing. That is what trust feels like when it finally takes the place of fear, and it is your spirit remembering what it was made for. Some of you have not felt that particular quiet in years, because the noise of trying to control everything drowned it out. Let it return now, my beloved, even if only for a breath, so your body can remember that peace was always available on the other side of surrender. So mark this moment, my child, before the noise of tomorrow tries to pull you back into the old striving. In the comments below, type these words: "I am done demanding the details." Say it as a line you are drawing tonight, a decision that from here forward, when your father says come, you will not stand frozen waiting for a map. You will simply take his hand and go. So carry this without fear, my child. When I say let us go, do not answer me with your list of questions. Answer me the way a trusting heart answers the one it loves. Say, "Yes, Lord," and simply begin to get ready to move, even before you know where. That readiness, that willingness to go before the details arrive, is the very thing that unlocks the next chapter I have prepared for you. The details were never the key, my child. Your trust is the key, and you have more of it in you than you know, because I have been building it quietly through every season you thought was wasted. So say it now, my beloved, right where you are, out loud if you can. Let us go, Lord. I am ready. Not once I understand, not once I can see the outcome. Say it as someone who has finally decided to trust the hand that is holding theirs, deeper than any detail they could ever be given. Let those words rise from your own mouth into the air of the room, because heaven leans in close when a once anxious child finally says, "Yes, Lord, let us go." Now hear what is true, and let it settle every anxious place in you. You are not lost. Even though you cannot see the whole road, you are being led. You are not behind. Even though you do not have the details others seem to have. You are being taught, my child, something deeper than information. You are not alone at the edge of your unknown. Your father is standing right there beside you, saying, "Let us go." And the not knowing, the very thing that has frightened you for so long, is about to become the place where you finally learn how faithful I have been all along. Now, hear the voice of the one who brings you these words one last time. If this word met you tonight, do not let it be the last time heaven reaches you here. If you have not yet, follow along and stay with this quiet place, so that when God has another word to steady you at the edge of another step, it can actually find you. This channel exists for the ones learning to walk by faith and not by sight, and I would count it a joy to keep walking it with you. So here at the end, my child, let your Father bless you the way the blessing was always meant to be spoken over his own. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Peace in place of the endless figuring out. Rest in place of the striving for control. The steady hand of your Father in place of the map you were never meant to carry. Lift your head, my beloved. You do not need to see the whole road. You only need to trust the one who does, my child, and he has never once let go of your hand. So when you hear me say, "Come, let us go," do not wait for the details. Just take the step. I am right here beside you, and I can be trusted, my child, deeper than any detail you will ever be given. If your spirit knows this is true, seal it now. In the comments below, type these words. I trust the hand that holds me. Amen and amen.